Hello, movie nerds, and welcome back to Cinematic Sarcastic, the podcast that talks all things movies and television. I'm Natalie, and I'm your host. On today's episode, I think we all know that I'm going to talk about Avatar: The Way of Water. You guys knew I wasn't going to miss this one. Come on now. Now, I might be in a boat all by myself, and that is okay, but I very much enjoyed Avatar, the first movie, and I've been just eagerly waiting for James Cameron to finish up the second one. I think there's going to be like 5 or 6 of these, so I'm like, can we Lord of the Rings this and like film them all at once and then bring them out like every year, which I know he's not going to do. I think it's going to be like every 2 years or something like that. I'm going to be 80 years old by the time the last one comes out, but I'm looking forward to them. I very much am. I know a lot of people compare like Avatar to Dances with Wolves, and they're like, well, it's just Dances with Wolves with aliens. And yeah, but I think if you're making that comparison, you're kind of missing the point, right? And I don't think, at least, I mean, I don't know. I haven't had any conversations with James Cameron, but I don't think that the point is like everybody else good, humans bad. I think the whole kind of meaning or message that you're supposed to get out of these movies is that it's just better to try and live with some kind of symbiosis with the planet that like sustains your life. And it doesn't make sense to go out and just butcher and burn and kill everything, because then you're not going to make it, right? And that really is the message that comes across with Avatar: The Way of Water. Is I think at some point they do mention, you know, Earth is done. It's gone. And now Pandora is the place that they need to like cultivate in order for life to still exist on, you know, like people from Earth need to be able to come to Pandora to live. Now, I know that this has been a long time coming. We've waited a really, really long time for this movie, and it's a very long movie. You are getting your money's worth. So if you're taking the family, which I definitely think you should, the money that you spend on tickets, like you're getting your money's worth. This isn't going to be an hour and a half, you know, like slow burn kind of movie. This is a little bit longer, and I'm not sure if it really needed to be, but I couldn't think of any place that would make sense to like cut it down and try and make it shorter. And I agree with James Cameron. You know, you can last the 3 hours. It is worth it. It is really awesome to see. Like, I don't know that I've seen very many CGI movies that I can compare to Avatar. I think the reason why everyone loved it so much, you know, back in the day when the first Avatar came out, was it was really groundbreaking. We hadn't seen CGI used that way ever. And I think that Avatar: The Way of Water just continues that legacy. There are so many amazingly beautiful shots in this one. The entire way through this movie, there were times when my brain was like, okay, where's the CGI? It's not that I don't know that the majority of it is all CGI. Obviously, every single one of the Na'vi is CGI. All of the creatures are CGI. I don't know whether or not he still did the same thing that he did with the first one, where they actually filmed the locations like with flyovers, but I would assume so, because the scenery is just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. And there are so many moments in this one where even in the underwater sequences, kind of especially in those ones, you kind of forget for a little bit that everything is CGI, because it looks so realistic that your brain just wants to kind of grasp it the way it would a regular movie. And I love these movies. I will be here for every single one that James Cameron puts out. I think that they are just storytelling and movie making in a way that we have sort of lost sight of. You know, this isn't the MCU bumping out movie after movie after movie as like a cash grab. it really is a passion project, and it shows. There were a couple of things in this movie where it's like, I don't quite get what's going on here or how this is actually happening this way. And then like 15 minutes later, there'll be something that explains how it's happening that way. And I'm like, oh, well, if I just stop thinking and let the movie happen, maybe I'll get all the answers that I'm looking for. And I think it's just great. I think it's really awesome. I think it's definitely worth a watch. If you loved the first one, I think that you are going to equally enjoy the second one. If you didn't like the first Avatar, you're probably not going to like this one either, because they are very, I mean, it's just a continuation of the same story. It's the same people. If you weren't moved by the first one, second one's not going to do anything for you. But I think it is absolutely stunning. It is gorgeous to see. And I really like Zoe Saldana, man. Her character of Neytiri just always stands out for me. Like her facial expressions, the way that she acts, like the heart-wrenching sort of moments for her. They've always just personally been my favorite. And I was very happy to see Sigourney Weaver like contributing in this one as well. They found a way to make that happen, and I thought it was just beautiful. It was awesome to kind of experience. And the Colonel from the first movie is back in this one as well, so be prepared for that. I really just thoroughly enjoyed myself with this one, and there was no way in that 3 hours that I was going to miss anything with a bathroom break. So your girl definitely had to pee after this movie, but it was well worth it. I think Avatar: The Way of Water is absolutely enjoyable. It is absolutely something that you can take your whole family to, and it is going to be amazing. And I really would love to kind of hear stories from people, and I'm hoping to do that as the movie sort of continues and we get reviews. I really want to hear people say, you know, that they brought their kids to this one, or that they introduced their kids to the first Avatar so that they could go to the theater and see the second one with their kids, because I think these are going to really like bridge that generational gap. And for all of the stuff like that Disney is doing now with like Willow and Rings of Power, where they're desperately trying so hard to hook a younger audience, and basically what they're doing is crapping all over an original thing so that they can just grab, you know, the younger generation with modern lingo and like whatever the case may be. Avatar does it. Avatar nails it. Like, you've got multiple generations going on in The Way of Water, and I think it really just builds that bridge between the people that grew up with the first Avatar, who are now, you know, fully adults, definitely going to have some kids, and then you have the kids in The Way of Water that is going to definitely connect with your children and definitely kind of make it more of a family going experience than it would have been if it was just, you know, Avatar 2 and we've got the same characters from the first one, and there's nothing that kind of, you know, takes that leap into pulling in a new generation of an audience. And I think Avatar nailed it in a way that Disney has just epically failed at doing. Like, if anyone needs to start looking at James Cameron and being like, dude, how did you do it? Because you did great. Disney should definitely like take some notes, because this I think was an excellent way of getting a new audience, getting the old audience, and keeping both of them entertained and continuing that story and really making it like worth the watch and worth the wait. And I definitely think Avatar: The Way of Water was worth the wait. I would absolutely, like, I'll definitely buy it. I'll add it to my collection. I've got the first one. I'm excited to have been able to go and see the second one. I think it's lovely. So definitely check it out if you liked the first one. I think it's worth it. And if you haven't seen either of them, give it a go. Like, watch the first one, go see the second, make a weekend of it. You're going to need a weekend to watch both. So those are my thoughts on Avatar: The Way of Water. I would love to know your thoughts. If you plan to go see it or have seen it, please subscribe if you want to join the movie nerd family. You can find me on Instagram at Cinematic Sarcastic Podcast, and I hope to see you in the next episode.